Who knew?
Traveling in Kentucky can be so much fun.
Hosted by Mary Engel and Justin Beaton. Join us as we go to Hazard, Kentucky, the Challengers Learning Center, and take a mission to Mars. With special host, Tom Cravens. Joe, the program manager. Kendra Campbell and James Drake. How about a trip to Mars?
Join us as we go from indoors to take a trip to Mars all the way from Hazard, Kentucky.
Where are you going, Justin?
Going to Mars.
You can't get to Mars this way.
How are we going to go?
Come on, and I'll show you how to get there. Come on. Oh, come on. Hi, everybody out there in TV land. We're here today at the Challengers Learning Center, located in Hazard, Kentucky, and we're standing with Tom Cravens. Hi.
Hi there.
How are you today?
Good.
Good.
Glad to have you here with us today.
We're so excited to be here. This is an awesome establishment, and we really want the folks out there to take a real good look at it today and come by and visit you sometime. You know, tell us what they've got to do if they want to just come by and visit.
Well, it would be better if they give us a call, let us know they're coming. Our phone number here is 487-3049.
That's 606, correct?
606 area code, yes.
Okay.
487-3049. And, we welcome people to come by and see us.
Tell us a little bit about, let's say if I wanted to do a mission here, what would we need to do? If my office said, oh, we want to go to Mars.
We would just need to get a group of people to do that. We do corporate missions, team building missions. That's just something we'd need to schedule with a group that would be interested in doing that. You need somewhere around 15 people or so. 15 to 25 is a good mission size group, and we can take you to rendezvous with a comet, or take you on a voyage to Mars, or to return to the moon. We do 3 different simulated missions.
Okay. But this room that we're standing in here is the orientation room. So when we get ready to take a mission, this is where we come, correct?
We actually call this our briefing room, because this is where we give our mission briefings. So yes, we would start out here. You depending on which mission you do, you would receive your mission briefing on comets or about Mars or so forth. We would talk to you about the team that you're serving on, what your responsibilities would be during the mission, and how you might accomplish those things. So we'll give you a briefing, tell you about your mission, and then we'll split up from here. Half the group will go to mission control, the other half will go to the space station. And then just like a NASA mission, you have to work together as a team to be successful.
And that is terrific. Absolutely terrific. Okay, so once we leave here, where do we go?
Well, you would either be part of the Earth-based team and go to mission control, or you would be part of the space-based team and go to the space station. So, again, you have to work together as a team between mission control and the space station to be successful. So when you're in mission control, you're doing things like using a computer to research. You're recording the data that you find. You're receiving data from your teammates aboard the space station. And then you're analyzing that data to make sure that everything's working properly aboard the space station and everyone's safe and sound and so forth.
So what is our goal during a mission?
Well, again, it's according to which mission you do. But if you are doing the rendezvous with the comet mission, your goal is to, first of all, find a comet. Once you find the comet, the probe team is building a probe that you will launch through the coma or the atmosphere of the comet and collect the information, and that determines whether you're successful or not, if you're able to do all those things. If you're going to Mars, you have a Mars-based team that the Mars Transport Vehicle is going to Mars to relieve them so they can go back home. They've been on Mars for 2 years. So you have to take the Mars Transport Vehicle to Mars, land on Mars, and then get the other team launched back toward Earth.
Who knew you could go to Mars in Hazard, Kentucky?
Yep, we do it. Getting ready to do it today.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many Challenger learning centers are there?
There are somewhere around 45 Challenger Learning Centers located worldwide. Most of them, of course, are in the United States, but there are 3 international sites as well. And so, Challenger Centers were started by the families of the Challenger astronauts who lost their lives in the 1986 Space Shuttle disaster. So those family members, that was NASA's educational mission with the teacher, Krista McAuliffe, aboard. So, there were school children watching from all over the world that day and saw what happened live on TV. So those family members felt an obligation to take that tragedy and turn it into something positive. And so they developed this concept of Challenger Learning Centers. The first one actually opened in Houston in 1988, just 18 months or so after the Challenger tragedy. And so have grown over the years. Our Challenger Center opened here in Hazard in 1999. So in just a few days, we're going to have our 18-year anniversary here. So students who came and flew missions with us, at 12 years old in 1999 are now around 30 years old. So we have teachers now who are bringing their students here to the Challenger Center who came themselves as students. So
That's pretty awesome, isn't it?
It's making us feel old.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it really does. Do you think any of those children are ever going to be astronauts or go to Mars?
Well, our Mars invasion program that we have here, that's one of the messages we send is that someone will probably be going to Mars in their lifetime. And it could be one of them. So, yeah, it's possible. We already have the John Goodlett story of John Goodlett, who grew up right here in Hazard, Kentucky. He was born in 1925. He was always interested in aviation. He became an engineer. He went to the University of Kentucky, became an engineer. And in his career at Martin Marietta, which is now Lockheed Martin, he became the chief engineer for the Viking project, which was the very first successful operational spacecraft on Mars, landed there in 1976. And the guy who designed the system was in charge of all the engineers that designed the Viking spacecraft was from right here in Hazard.
That's pretty awesome, actually.
So, John Goodlett can do it. These kids that are coming up now, and they'll be able to do it as well.
They should be able to do it. We want to know which one of you guys out there are going to be the next astronaut. All astronauts, report to the briefing room. All astronauts, report to the briefing room.
Let's go.
We're going to go through this briefing. Astronauts before they go to space, they receive a briefing.
We're standing in the control room, and we're getting ready to begin our trip to Mars.
Mars Control, this is the Mars Transport Vehicle. Do you read me? Over.
Mars Transport Vehicle, this is Mars Control, we read you, over.
Mars Control, this is the Mars Transport Vehicle. We are beginning our test. Over.
Mars Transport Vehicle, this is Mars Control, we acknowledge. Over.
Oh, crocky! We're on a Mars mission, Justin.
You got that, buddy?
Okay, so we're standing in the Mars transport vehicle right now. Our crew that's going to be traveling to Mars is just getting ready to come through this airlock door back here. So they should be here in just a few seconds. So in our Voyage to Mars scenario, we have a crew that is on Mars and have been there for 2 years, and they are in the Mars control room. And we have this team that will be aboard the Mars transport vehicle that is on their way to Mars to relieve that crew so they can go back to Earth.
How old are you?
Welcome to the MTV. Alright. Med team, you're over there where it says med. Pro, you're over there in the clean room and just hang out right there in front of the door for now. Where are you, sir? What's your Tom, over there behind there. Be seated on that big stool. I need to have your attention, please. And let me go over a few little things in this MTV before we get started. Now, this is a mission status monitor. I want to point out to you in the bottom right-hand corner. You will see what is called the MET time. This stands for Mission Elapsed Time. We will start that clock in just a few moments, and that means, astronauts, that your mission will officially begin. In the middle is the GMT clock. It's known as Greenwich Mean Time, also known as Universal Time. And this is the time in the clock that scientists use to report any new findings to CBAT, Central Bureau for Astronomical Telegrams. This corner here is another clock, and it is the RTE clock, and this is our time of how long we have to complete our mission in order to have a successful mission. Now, coming down the left side of this screen here, those of you that are seated right there, you may not be able to see this because of the angle. You want to stand to the middle for just a moment. Go ahead and stand and walk towards the middle, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. Coming down the left side of the screen, you will see all the various different team names. As you begin your tasks, it will show up here what task it is that you are working on. Once you activate your computer and then start working on a particular activity or experiment or test that you'll be doing, it'll show up here what it is you're working on and what you're doing. Now, you will be sending the results of those experiments to your teammates that are already on Mars Control. They will analyze those results and let us know if there needs to be any changes, if we happen to have any emergencies on board. Here, the MTV, they're the ones that will help us lead us through those emergencies to hopefully solve them, and all will be well. Now, we'll start that clock in just a few moments. In and around your stations, you will have, maybe see it again if you'd like. We have a 3-ring binder. These are Velcro. They can come loose. All right. So these are your instructions. All right. Now, prob officer, your headsets in that room are the cord is not long enough for you to go to both places. So you'll be changing out headsets and having lots of fun with that. But you, sir, will be needing to keep a headset on at all times as you enter into the clean room to start building and working with the pro. Okay. And so those are the rest of you, and you do, sir, have an instructional book like this. It's to the right of your keyboard once you get in there. And one of the first things it's going to ask you to do, astronauts, is to look around your station, and you will see a video button or a console power button, and you are to turn all of these on. Now, those are, in fact, your instructions. You, sir, at NAV will be putting a headset on. You, sir, at COM will be wearing your headset. You'll be sending a first message by way of the intercom system that we have. And good luck, astronauts. We're going to go ahead and start this clock right now and begin our mission. Remember, where are we headed? Someone tell me where it is that we're headed. Mars. We are headed to Mars, and we call ourselves, we are on the Mars Transport Vehicle, also known as the MTV. Very good. Good luck, astronauts. The mission is now officially in your hands. Good luck.
A trip to Mars could be so much fun.
I'm staying here with Joe. And Joe, could you kind of tell us what you do around here?
Sure, I'm the program coordinator for the Challenger Learning Center of Kentucky, which means I'm responsible for developing a lot of our new programs and educational content.
Could you tell us the relation between coal and the mission to Mars that goes on here?
Well, sure. We actually have a program here at the Challenger Center called Mars Invasion, and we talk about the relationship between coal mining and space mining. Now, there are a lot of groups who might think that coal mining is kind of dying out in Kentucky, and I know there's a lot of different opinions on that. But here at the Challenger Center, we like to think those skills need to be preserved. It's not going to be very long before we talk about space mining. There are many corporations that are already interested in, can we mine on Mars? Can we mine asteroids? And there are a lot of ways we would need to apply that. So someday soon, the same technologies and skills that we use here in Eastern Kentucky to pull coal out of the mountains might be used to pull water or ice from under the surface of Mars, or to mine for gold or platinum on an asteroid. So I think it's important that these students understand that we need to preserve that and take it into the future.
When's the mission to Mars supposed to take place?
Well, there are a lot of groups that are currently looking at that from a lot of different angles. Now, there are a lot of tricky questions that we have to answer before we can colonize Mars. Things like radiation, supply transport, escaping Earth's gravity. Now, there are a lot of different approaches we might take. We may establish a moon base first so that we can take advantage of that reduced gravity, which would make it much easier to actually launch to Mars, kind of a stepping stone per se. Now, there are a lot of corporations, like I said, who are already investigating, companies like SpaceX, for example, who are looking at things like space tourism, actually being able to launch a rocket up into orbit for a day or so and then bring those tourists back down to Earth safely, which is a big step, I think. Because right now, going up into space is a pretty big deal. But it's not going to be long, probably within 5, 10, maybe 15 years, before we see some serious expansion of space travel, both commercially in terms of asteroid mining and things like that, and things like space tourism, and even biomedical. Recently, we're getting involved with what's called the Next Generation Science Standards. When you hear people talking about things like the Common Core curriculum, you're looking at things that are sort of universally taught in schools. And historically, we haven't really had engineering in schools. But as time goes by, we're seeing more and more engineering content being taught. And that's a big part of what we do here. In many cases in schools, you'll see someone like a science teacher or a math teacher who has to teach engineering courses. And sometimes that works out and sometimes it doesn't. It depends on the background of the teacher. But we exist to kind of fill in that gap, to make sure that the teachers have the support and the resources that they need. So if you have a classical science teacher who may not be familiar with the engineering design process, the iterative process, things like that, that's what we're here to do, to help teach that sort of content.
What type of age range will be involved in education?
For sure, we cover every age range that you can think of. We are involved with Project Lead the Way, which is an early engineering initiative, and we actually teach kindergarten students a little bit of classical physics, things like sound and light. We move up into programming, robotics with the middle school, and we actually have a high school group that's coming here today. And we do professional development and things with the teachers as well. So the teachers can actually go into our virtual environment, walk around on the surface of the moon and Mars, just like the students can.
So you're teaching the teachers.
Absolutely, and that's important. I mean, like I said, this is brand new technology. The virtual reality system that we have is cutting edge. Well, we are heavily involved with robotics and engineering here at the Challenger Center. One of our latest programs, which has been very popular, is our virtual reality setup. We can actually take students up to the surface of Mars and allow them to explore the surface and walk around just like they're there on the surface.
Join us in the Russell County High What did you have to do? It looked like he was right there in it. Good job. Congratulations.
So there's a series of LEDs built into this fan, and they're pulsing so quickly that our eyes interpret that as letters and words, because that pulse is faster than our eyes can recognize.
Who knew the Russell County High School students would be putting together circuit boards that do multiple things? These young gentlemen here put the circuit board together for Who Knew. And these young ladies here put the circuit board together for Russell County High School JROTC students. Let's take a look at what some of the other things the Challengers Learning Center has to offer you. Stop by the gift shop and just to browse, get yourself a Coke, or take home a souvenir. Here's a close-up of one of the showcases they have at the Challengers Learning Center.
So these are all astronauts that we've met along the way. This guy's Colonel Terry Wilcutt. He's from Kentucky. He's from Russellville.
Here's a close look at a moon rock.
That came from Apollo 17 and
Let's go to Mars. Put on your hard hats and we'll help you get there. We want you to go with us.
Going to Mars.
Going to Mars? How you going to Mars?
Well, I reckon.
I think you're at Saturn right now.
Yeah, stop it.
The Challenger Learning Center, which is located by the community college.
Yeah, it's been around for.
The Challenger Learning Center, which is located by the community college.
Yeah, it's been around for a while, so he said. 1999, I believe. That's pretty cool. Okay, well, I mean, say something else. Just how about? Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be in the mission center as we're sending astronauts to Mars? Well, just take a look.
That would be the control center.
Control center.
Have you ever wondered what it'd be like to be right in the middle of the control center while
Who knew?
there could be a space? I'm gonna throw something at you.
Our cameraman back here.
Who knew? Travel to Kentucky would be so much fun.
Tune in next week when we join Jet Tours out of Jackson, Kentucky, and take a trip to Nashville, Tennessee, to the Grand Ole Opry and the Rhineman Auditory. We hope to see you next week. Until then, stay safe. Have fun travels.